Hi dear ones, this is Ouassima Isra and welcome to the Ascension Waves. For this time, we are still talking about change. We talked in the last video about change, how to deal with it. Do we deal with it from a fearful side or do we deal with it from a heart center side? And what is interesting about change is that it is related to a war, to going against something, to going away from something. Change is always related to resistance, a war. And this resistance, this war, can be in the outside or inside. For example, when you want to change outside, you might want to change your work, your job, your place of living, your country of living. You may want to change your wardrobe, your friends, your business. It is a change that is centered or focused on the outside world. And you are going against all what you have been doing. That means that from the law of duality, you need to experience an extreme to find your harmony in the other extreme. So what you live in your job, in your business, in your friends, family, place of living, and that does not satisfy you anymore, and you go against it, it is in itself a message from the universe to go to the other side being your true nature of heart. We spoke about that in the last video. The change inside also is related to a war inside yourself. A war meaning going against an attitude, against your old way of being or doing, against a way of thinking. So the center of this change is going against and being in resistance, because when you go against something, it creates naturally a resistance. So one way of dealing with change is maybe to embrace and to bless our old ways of being, our old places when we used to live, the job we used to have, etc. Is to bring blessing and grace to this old world. What I'm trying to say is that it would be interesting to bring these values, these energies, high vibe energies of blessing, grace, love, into change, instead of bringing war and resistance. Change is related to the law of movement and law of cycles. I speak about that in my oracle deck about cosmic laws. And both have been neglected by humans for many, many years. They have been respected before. We speak about the wheel of the year. We speak about the medicine wheel. We speak about respecting elders. All these are parts of respecting the laws of movement and cycles. But we lost that, and hopefully we are gaining it again. But we need to understand the law of movement and the law of cycles and how they work, because they are natural. They are natural. The blood in our body respects these laws. Our breath, our thoughts, our emotions, they respect these cycles. And when they don't, And when they don't, there is disharmony, there is sickness. It is the same thing. When we change, everything is in movement. And we might resist in some places, and that might cause fatigue, sickness. Some ways to resist change can be ignorance, closing our minds to what is happening, focusing on little, small details to forget the big details. It might be going in war against someone else as a projection of the inner disharmony. Oh, it is your fault. Oh, why aren't you doing this right? And sometimes in a war against ourselves. Why am I here? Why is it happening to me? What did I do wrong? Blessing. Bring blessing and grace to these places of disharmony. Change is a natural state of the world. Change is your natural state. There is one thing that my allies speak always about when I am dealing with change. They say, do something you love. Don't stop doing it. And there are a lot of things that I love doing. I love playing with my tarot decks and oracle decks. I love creating. Creation is my soul, one of my soul missions. I love creating. I love writing, drawing. I love interacting with people, especially in some communities in Facebook. So the basic thing when we deal with change is to keep doing something we love, is to keep doing our soul mission. Because like the tornado, there is a center, a quiet center, and our quiet center is our soul mission, is what brought us in this planet. It might be caring for someone else, caring for kids, creation, writing, speaking, cooking. Whatever is your soul mission and the way it expresses itself, keep doing it in a period of change. Because it is your center. It is in your heart. This is what keeps your heart, your human heart, alive. Of course, we are not speaking about medical systems and medical diagnosis and all this. But I have a certainty, I am sure about one thing, is that when we stop doing something we love, we stop living. And all our living systems, physical systems, go dead. They stop living because there is nothing that sustains their activity. There is nothing to keep them going. So you need to do something you love. Whatever is happening in the world, in a period of grief, in a period of sadness, of madness, whatever happens, keep doing something you love. Some of my clients, when I speak with them about doing something we love and keeping ourselves alive, they find also that there is a resistance. There is a resistance. There is a far space between them and the only thing they love doing. And one of my friends told me once that he needed practically 20 years to get back to his passion, to music. He was a musician, but he stopped doing that for 20 years. And he lived in difficulties, and he lived like he was not alive. And he took 20 years to get back to his passion, to music. Why are we so far from our passion of what keeps us alive, of our food? Our food. So there is a resistance. And also this resistance has many, many faces. There is like denying what brings us pleasure, what brings us life. I talk about that in one of my French videos. Maybe we can talk about it in another video. We talk about self-destruction programs. And this one is one of them. Staying away from what we love doing. Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'm not good enough. Who is gonna read me anyway? Oh, I don't have the inner space to do it. Many phrases I hear from my clients to stay away from what they love. And one of the things I realize is that they want to do what they love by their minds. They want to plan it. They are not doing it following the flow of movement, the flow of life. The flow of life doesn't need to think about, oh, I need to do that, I need to do that. It just flows naturally without thinking. And this is the way to deal with things we love. We don't really need to think that much. We just need to do it because it is our nature state, our natural state of heart. So take few moments today, just few moments, seconds, minutes, to do the only one thing you love. So sending you much love and wishing you a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.